Welcome back to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network. Here now is your fabulous host, Mr. Randall White.
There's the Monica voice that I love and missed for most of this show. Don't know why the computer wasn't working, and so we didn't have any music to accompany the show for the first hour or so, till Patty Pyburn said, why don't you just turn that switch on and off and see what happens? And I did, and voila. Patty, thank you. You are now hired as our new IT person. Great to have you with us on this Memorial Day weekend. It will certainly be a busy weekend for restaurants throughout the country. I have a recommendation for you that is just down the street from us here in San Luis Obispo, and there are a lot of great restaurants out there. There are a few times I go to a place and I say they have hit the trifecta, which is, for me, a great location, because let's face it, when you go out to eat, sometimes the location is part of the reason why you go. And so this restaurant sits outdoors and indoors right next to the Mission Plaza there. I actually worked at that location back in the late 80s when it was a restaurant called Sebastian's. So they've got that out of the park. You can't help it but have a great restaurant with that location, although several places have tried to not. Then the second part of the three parts is the food. The food is unbelievable. It's fantastic. It's that, it's the trend going, but some people really embrace the trend, and this place does. Farm to table. I mean, everything is fresh. The cocktails there are out of this world, made with all fresh ingredients and combinations that I have not had in the past, and but we'll certainly have more of in the future. And then the third thing is, you can have great food in a great location, but if the service bites, then you don't want to go back. And 2 times now we've been there. Both times different staff waiting on us had just phenomenal service, to the point where I would go back just for the service, even if the food was bad. So all three, I guess there's a fourth one, and that would be price. And it gets well, for what you're getting, the price is dead on. I'm talking about Luna Red Restaurant, which has just recently moved its location from up the street, up Monterey, which was a small facility, and I felt kind of cramped. I didn't go there very often. I loved the food, but the location didn't hit it for me with that one. They've combined everything now at this place right where Monterey meets Choro in downtown San Luis Obispo, and we are lucky enough to have with us right now the chef behind all that, Chef Shaun Behrens from Luna Red. Nice to have you here.
Good morning. Thanks.
So when you found out that the restaurant was moving locations to this just best, it's really the best facility in all of San Luis, what was your reaction?
Well, yeah, I thought that it was pure joy at first, and then I was a little scared because of the location, because of the so-called curse of the location.
Because now you're a centerpiece also.
Yeah. We we really loved you listen to you talk about the old location and how you felt cramped or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think that about 6 months into that old location, we really outgrew that location. Mm-hmm. The program, 50 to 60 different tapas or options on the menu, the cocktails, the bartenders were growing out of it. So this really fits us. And to be honest, I stand there every day for the last 3 weeks, and I really feel like nothing else was there before us.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the feeling I had last Saturday when I was there. It's hard to even remember what was there before, because there were so many examples of not utilizing a space for what it can potentially have. Mm-hmm. I feel like you guys have done that. Now, your menu changes constantly, but how much did it change because of the new location?
It just got bigger. Mm-hmm. We added a few things. I really like printing on paper menus, although it's not the most environmental, but we do have these leather-clad or these booklets now that they go in. So I'm able to print more often, which means I can change the menu more often.
But wait, on that note, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. They do print, menus because it's constantly changing. But then you take the menus and you turn them into doilies for like under the soup and stuff, the old menus that are no good anymore. Yep. So you are reusing those paper menus.
Yeah, we tear them up. We use them for whatever we need them for, doilies or scratch paper or anything that in the house. I think we don't buy any Post-its or doilies or anything like that.
That's great.
But we do. So I ended up putting something called raciones on the menu, which for dinner anyway, it means to allocate or share large plates, large tapas. So we'll do like a whole chicken, or we'll do a 16-ounce skirt steak for 4. And then we'll just put it in the middle of the table and you can go at it, which I love because typically you go out with somebody anyway and you're eating what they're eating anyway.
Right.
So so I love to share, and that's kind of where the concept originally came from. Was not so much tapas driven, but just sharing food.
Well, you do it at Chinese restaurants all the time, and it's standard practice to order a bunch of things and then everyone, serves a little of it to themselves. It's sort of odd that it hasn't progressed that way to all the other restaurants. We were sharing something last Saturday. Anthony, what was that that you ordered? The crab fritters. The crab fritters. Those are really good. Oh, and the asparagus. What inspires you? How do you attend the Thursday night market or some of the various markets? How are you inspired to what's coming up next on the menu?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for 23 years. I've lived in California for my entire life, so I'm pretty much dialed in with the seasonality of things.
Right.
I know when heirloom tomatoes are going to be coming around July 4th. It's like Christmas morning for heirloom tomatoes, or
and it is. Those are so delicious.
It's interesting because you just start to live and breathe it. The other thing, I do visit the market when I can. I'm being there closer to in proximity to the market. I'm going down there a lot, talking to my farmers. I do have a farm runner who delivers basically 5 days a week for us. He goes out. He's got the best job
like
in the
a forager.
world. Yeah, like an urban forager. Yeah, he goes out and he picks stuff. There's some older residents up the street from us that can't. They're sort of, I don't want to say indigent, but they have lemon trees that are overgrown, and he asks if he can go into the yard and pick their lemons, and we get lemons from them. So
Meyer?
Literally, yeah, Meyer. We get Burgess limes. We get we got a lot of stuff. Citrus is kind of going out now, so we're getting into now stone fruit, cherries.
Yeah, love the stone fruit season.
Rainier cherries I got last night for the first time. So
will you use those in a cocktail, like muddle them? Or?
Yeah, we'll actually souse them, which is great.
What is that?
Well, we brandy them, or we sort of liquor them up. So, and like you were talking about the cocktail program, and that's really everything on the cocktail program is dictated from what comes out of the kitchen. So it's complete 100% utilization, which I also consider sustainability. So like cucumber juice, we use that for tzatziki, or we strain our cucumbers to make our tzatziki or our cucumber sauce, and then we freeze all the juice, and then the bar uses it in their cocktails.
And
their
that's
punches.
my favorite. That's my favorite one. We have a picture of it. I actually took a picture of the
cool cucumber
of the pitcher with the lemons in it.
Yeah.
And so actually all the food pictures that you see if you're watching on Ustream right now are not pictures they provided. They're pictures I took because I was so I was so impressed. They're iPhone photos. I was like, oh my God, that's beautiful. You see that all the time in restaurants now, people taking pictures of their food, which must be a little nerve-wracking for chefs.
Well, not really. I mean, thank God for the iPhone, because it's got a nice camera on it. So.
It really does. So it gives you a beautiful shot. Yeah. Now, in theory, it sounds great to say farm to table, or we have an all fresh, sustainable, local menu, that sort of thing. You see it everywhere now. It's become a trend. In practice, that is not easy to do, right? Because
it's very difficult,
right? Because the purveyors, so like Cisco or whoever it might be, they don't deal in that.
No.
So how do you do it?
Well, I'm a purist to a fault, and that's the hard part.
Makes your life more difficult than everyone else's.
It makes everything really challenging, which I love. But I feel like I've really hit my niche in the sense in the last 5 to 6 years I was working for, 5 to 6 years ago, prior to that, I mean, I was working for a lot of people that I didn't really believe in. They made great food, don't get me wrong. The Bradley Ogdens of the world and all that stuff. But I just felt like they didn't challenge themselves to push like ethics or that farm to table. It's easy to say.
They preach it a lot.
You can say it on a website. Nobody really knows what happens behind that kitchen door. But I really do it.
You can taste the difference. You can taste and see the difference.
So potatoes. We can't get those. We get the little fingerlings locally, but russet potatoes, those come from Idaho.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Right.
But, but if I want to make, so I try and gear the menu towards something that I can make from a local product. So, but if I don't get local tomatoes, you don't get a tomato on your burger for the day. I'm sorry.
Right.
So,
and who wants a cardboard,
Right.
Tomato that was ripened after it was picked and that sort of thing?
We're lucky enough to work with Peacock Farms out in Arroyo Grande, and they do sort of a greenhouse tomato year round.
Nice.
So it's local. It's not necessarily grown under the sun, but when they do arrive in the summer, we pick up as many as we can.
You've got the climate for the type of restaurant you want.
Yeah.
And the surrounding fertile land. We live in just an amazing area for all that. So that really benefits your restaurant. You couldn't probably do this in Minnesota. Or
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
I do have some people that work for me that are from the Midwest or from that part of the country, and you should see how frugal they are with avocados and strawberries.
Right.
Yeah.
We're so spoiled. I think I have at least an avocado a day and several strawberries.
Yeah.
We're so spoiled along those lines. If you're wondering where did Luna Red come from, you have a couple of very successful sister restaurants that have been around forever. Novo, which is another key location on the creek in San Luis Obispo, and then Robbins in Cambria, right?
Right, that's correct. And Robbins is now on their 26th year of business. I think Novo's going into their 10th year.
Right.
That's incredible to me.
That is, yeah.
But I mean, I feel really good about working with the ownership. They've given me a lot of creative control. The menu's completely mine at Luna Red.
That's awesome.
So yeah, if I don't like something, I just change it. And
Right on.
It's the best feeling in the world.
Chef Shaun Behrens, Luna Red. I don't even feel like I need to wish you success because I don't know how you couldn't. It is so just out of this world. I'm a member of your lunch club, so ask them about the lunch club when you're there. Chef Shaun, have a very successful Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you so much.
And we'll catch up with you again in the future, find out how things are going. Stick around, everyone. We are back in just a moment.